A simple plan to become a millionaire. I want to share one of the most important financial concepts I've ever learned. I wish I would have thought about this more and drilled for skill to make this knowledge into a belief and a habit when I was younger. It would have led to my financial success so much more quickly. It's a very simple plan on how to become a millionaire. It applies to fiat money, and later I'll show you how it can be even more powerful when it's applied to cryptocurrencies. Bob Proctor and John Kanary taught a series of fantastic Born Rich seminars back in the 1980s. Yes, more than 25 years ago. And it's so powerful you think that everyone would know about it by these days. One segment of this seminar on building prosperity, wealth, and success detailed a simple formula for becoming a millionaire with a plan that anyone could achieve. This segment of the seminar really struck me. It was a profound truth that I had neglected for decades. I listened to this segment of the webinar many times. I wrote it out. I practiced reading it out loud. I created my own free presentations, and I included this into my book as a way of repeating it in my own mind with as much emotion and conviction as I could muster. I'd like to paraphrase Bob as he commented in his seminar. He picked a young man and he asked him, "Would you agree that you blow, waste, or spend $20 every week on things that you could do without?" The young man agreed. And then Bob asked him to imagine a new habit. Imagine this habit with me. Imagine yourself folding up a $20 bill at the end of this week and putting it into a simple wooden box. Now, imagine yourself folding up another $20 bill at the end of the next week. See yourself placing it into your savings box with the first $20 bill. Imagine each week placing another folded bill into that box. Each week, you get to see your assets grow. Imagine the feelings of accomplishment that you would have when you open that box and you see your stack of $20 bills growing. You fold up another and add it to the box. As the weeks turn into months and the months turn into seasons, each week you set aside another $20. Over about 50 weeks or about a year, you would have saved up $1,000. But you would have created two very important habits. You would have created the habit of watching your money grow, and you would have created the more important habit of protecting that money from all the desires and events and opportunities that we're all faced with from day to day throughout the entire year. Imagine right now the accomplishment that you would feel as you view that stack of money. As a matter of fact, that feeling of accomplishment would have become a habit for you, wouldn't you agree? You would be building a deeper belief in yourself. And habits are hard to break, isn't that right? Now, think about this. Imagine you established this habit in your youth and you repeated this plan throughout all of your working years. Let's say from the years 20 until you're 60 years old. $1,000 a year for 40 years, you would have saved about $40,000, right? However, this could have been worth more than $1 million if you would have added one simple ingredient, one simple strategy that requires no more time and no more additional effort. This one strategy, this one piece of knowledge could have made this $40,000 into $1 million. What is this magic strategy that can have such a profound effect on your wealth and your comfort? The magic strategy that transforms money is compound interest. Earning interest? How could such a small thing make such a magic difference, you might ask? Earning interest and putting that interest to work to earn more interest can have a dramatic effect on the success of our simple $20 a week savings plan. Let's imagine instead of just folding up your $20 bill and putting it in the wooden box with the others, imagine that you had a way to put that $20 to work on your behalf. If this money was to be invested and grown at a rate of 10% per year, instead of $40,000, you would have had $400,000. If it had been invested at 12% per year, you would have over $800,000. And if you had invested at 14% compounded monthly, you would have over $1 million. And all you needed to do to assure that comfort and security and to have more than $1 million in the bank by the time you retire is to know about this $20 a week savings plan and the magic power of compound interest.
And all you've ever done is set aside $20 a week.
Anyone can do this. Bob Proctor was teaching this in 1982. But 25 years later, why is it that less than 20% of our population is retiring wealthy? You may point out that the bank interest rates have been very terrible for the last many years, even savings accounts that pay zero interest. Well, later in this video series, I'm going to show you how you can take this $20 a week of earnings and grow it over time, that we can compound every wave of the cryptos and grow our money. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I am going to show you how to make free Bitcoin and how to do micro investments to grow that Bitcoin consistently and compound our growth over time. But before we jump into that, let's take a look at how people approach money in general. Bob Proctor pointed out the following simple truth. People fall into three categories when it comes to money. Group number one, their monthly budget is slightly negative and they're spending a little more money than they're earning every month. Their credit card bill is going up and they're refinancing. Group number two, their budget matches their income and they have no money at the end of the month. They're living from paycheck to paycheck. And then group number three, their living costs are less than their revenue and they're putting away regular savings. If you were to guess, what percentage of the population do you feel would fall into each of these different categories? Well, recently, a top-respected Canadian newspaper, Global News, quoted that Canadians are dreaming of retirement, but they're not actually saving for it. They pointed out the facts that according to Statistics Canada, just 23% of Canadian tax filers in 2012 were contributing to tax-sheltered retirement savings plan. From that, we can infer that 75% of Canadians fall into Bob Proctor's first two categories, and it may be the same in other countries as well. Does money solve money problems? What if you gave more money to a person who has the habit of spending more money each month than they have? What if you gave more money to a person that has the habit of spending all the money they have? Do you think more money will solve their money problems? What about the example of people who have won the lottery and within a few years they're in worse financial shape than they were before they won the lottery? The truth is, more money just magnifies the habits that we already have with money. More money highlights the tragic flaws that we have with money or the virtues that we have learned and nurtured and practiced and drilled into a skill. If we trace back where our relationship with money began, it follows that the habits that we have are a result of the actions that we've taken. And our beliefs determine our actions. So where our beliefs are generated, it came from learning something. However, if we learn something, that new knowledge doesn't always change our belief into actions. Just because we know we should do something doesn't necessarily mean that we do it. There is this mysterious space between knowledge and action. So the big goal is not to make more money to solve our money problems, because more money will just fall under the same routine and habits that we already have with money. More money doesn't solve money problems. It's kind of a paradox until you change the way you think and feel about money. Throughout the rest of this video series, we'll start with micro investing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You're going to learn the specific steps to make money work for you. But more than that, the feeling of accomplishment that you experience when you make money work for you, it's going to completely change your belief about your future wealth potential. It's that change in belief that takes this knowledge and turns it into action. I'd like to thank you again for joining me on another video. If you find this content helpful, I would be delighted to hear from you in the comments down below the video. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when the next video is ready and published. And you can find out more about our premium services for active traders over on our website. Trade safe and keep those losses small.